So what happened in the company meeting? Firstly, Jim called a last-minute meeting without clearly explaining its purpose, saying it's just for catching up on company matter, which proved to be false as it turns out the real focus of the meeting was to reduce red tape. And he demanded employees to submit three solutions by the next morning and ignored their concerns and feedback, including when brought up her concerns about the VIP service program being a much bigger problem. He not only dismissed her concerns, he even rejected her ideas without discussion, causing other employees to become silent and disengaged as they became frustrated and disregarded, making the meeting ineffective and unproductive.
A very good day to Doctor and my fellow friends. My name is Viveha Sugumaran. Matrix number is 314921. And today I will be talking about my part of the case study, which is the main communication issue. So I would like to talk about some of the issues that has been stated through this case. One of it is lack of communication, misunderstanding, poor listening, weak team participation, and not forgetting conflict. And now I would like to talk about the examples that has been stated based on the communication issues that I told before. One of the example is Jim failed to clearly explain the meeting's purpose and also unexpectedly assign urgent tasks and dismiss employees' concern. This leads to misunderstanding and also lack of communication due to the objective is not clear. Next, his unwillingness to listen to staff feedback caused frustration and reduced participation. It shows that Jim ignores staff input and also doesn't have a clear communication skills within him and also the employees. Next, while disagreements over department priorities created tension between management and employees. And last but not least, it's making the meeting ineffective and unproductive that can lead to weak team participation and also conflict.
A very good morning to Doctor, and my name is Ng Zhi Xin. My matrix number is 312097. Today I would like to present my part, that is leadership role and leadership evaluation. First, I would like to discuss Jim's leadership style. In this case study, we can see that James has the authoritarian leadership style. It means that he makes the decision independently, controls the discussion on the meeting, and ignores employees' opinions. He doesn't encourage the participants among the employees. For example, James suddenly asked all staff members to submit 3 written ideas to reduce red tape by the next morning, but he made this decision without asking for employees' opinions or considering their existing workload. Another example is when June tried to explain the problem caused by the VIP service program. Instead of listening on her ideas, James immediately said that, "I know that what you done proposed cannot be done and wouldn't work anyway." And this showed that Jim rejected her opinion before even listening for her suggestion. As a result, the employees will feel that their opinions were not important and will discourage employee participation in the meeting. It will create a negative communication climate and reduce motivation for employees to share their ideas in the meeting. Next, I will discuss how Jim managed the discussion. The many problems identified in these case studies, such as last-minute meeting, no clear agenda for the meeting, poor discussion management, ignored employee feedback, and lack of open communication. Jim managed the meeting very poor because there was no agenda and no proper planning before the meeting, and the employees didn't know the purpose for the meeting beforehand. For example, when June highlighted that the VIP service program was creating more mistakes and interrupting the employees' work, but Jim just ignored the issues and instead of discussing the red tape problem instead. And for the result, the employees become silent and the discussion was unproductive. Next, I will explain about the organizational politics in the meeting. In this case, Jim used his position as a manager to control the meeting. Even though many employees agree that the VIP service program was the biggest problem, but Jim only focused on his priorities. He just ignored his employee concerns. For example, June noticed that her colleagues were smiling and nodding in agreement when he raised the issues, but Jim still ignored everyone's concern. As a result, employees will feel powerless and believe that speaking up will not change anything. So a low trust among team members will occur and it will reduce the teamwork participation. Next is evaluating Jim's leadership. Overall, we know that Jim was not an effective leader. This is because his poor communication skill and poor meeting management and his weak decision-making skills will mess up the meetings. Strength and weakness of Jim's leadership. The strengths is it concerns about improving organizational efficiency. Besides that, it took initiative to identify workplace problems. However, Jim had a few of strengths, but his weaknesses are more efficient. He had a poor listening skill, lack of empathy. He also poor in meeting management. Besides that, he also ignored his employees' feedback.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Laalina Futayatu Madiha. My metric number is 7027 and 55. Based on our analysis, there are three main recommendations to improve managerial communication in meetings. First, improve communication by encouraging two-way communication, so everyone has the opportunity to share ideas and feedback. Second, increase participation throughout brainstorming session. This can help team members become more engaged and contribute more ideas during discussion. And third, improve productivity by preparing a clear agenda and planning before meetings. This helps meetings stay focused and make decision making more efficient.
Hi, good morning, madam. I'm Alia binti Nazri. My metric number is 311638. I will explain about decision-making effectiveness. First, identifying problem accurately. It also requires some judgment, the adaptation about decision and critical thinking. And Jim should contribute more to improve stronger competitive. Next, systematic process. They need to evaluating possible alternative and selecting the best option with the desired goal. It also reduces influence, bias, and emotion. Lastly, clearer and discipline. Jim should encourage equal participations, clear agenda, and focus to manage conflict on the meeting objective. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Okay, to support this recommendation, there are several best practices that can be applied. First, share the meeting agenda early so participants can prepare beforehand. And second, provide equal speaking opportunities to ensure everyone's voice is heard. And third, record important discussion points to avoid missing key information. Fourth, summarize discussion at the end of the meeting so everyone has the same understanding. And finally, conduct follow-up action after the meeting to ensure that agreed plans are implemented effectively. By applying this practice, meeting can become more productive, collaborative, and effective. Okay, and in conclusion, leadership is not about controlling discussion, but creating space for discussion. Effective communication leads to better decision, stronger collaboration, higher productivity, and stronger organization. Thank you.